Welcome to our garden here in Zone 6A, upstate New York. We have a lot of fun planting in store for you today. We also have some removal. We'll be removing a giant shrub behind us who really is performing differently than we anticipated.
Yes, it's supposed to be a purple pillar rose of Sharon, but it's become more of a purple vase of Sharon.
For sure. We'll also be removing this perennial that has unfortunately not thrived in this spot and totally underperformed for us. Behind Christopher over here, we're going to be adding in a new to us perennial, a night embers sedum, and a super cool evergreen up front. We're adding it to our green wall. So I think the first thing we should do is talk about the plants that we're installing today before we start the removal. What do you think?
I think that's a really good idea because we've got some exciting stuff for this particular group.
So replacing that purple pillar rose of Sharon is going to be this gorgeous, very small, we admit, specimen of Swan Song Styrax. And it's a brand new for 2026 introduction from Proven Winners Color Choice Trees and Shrubs. It is hardy in zones 5 through 9. It prefers full sun to part sun. It's a weeping habit snowbell that will bloom pink in the spring and have dark foliage throughout the entire season. And I think, Christopher, and I bet you agree with me, that this area right here kind of calls for something dramatic like this, right?
It does, and I think the fact that it's gonna be up to 12 feet tall max and be kind of a weeper, we'll be able to control the habit and give it a nice architecture that blends with the Diana contorted larch that has the ferny frilly
I think
leaves.
this texture is gorgeous next to the Diana contorted larch. I think it's a great combo. What's funny is on the website for this, when you look it up for more information, it says that it brings drama and gravitas to the garden. And we were like, well, we need that.
That's what we need right
Our
here.
Our garden needs drama and gravitas. So this is going in place of the purple pillar rose of Sharon, which unfortunately just hasn't really performed the way we wanted it to. It's still a great shrub. We're gonna dig it up and give it to Christopher's friend Stacy so that she can put it in her hedge of Rose of Sharons. Then this Veronica is coming up and we're going to replace it with these. These are Let's Dance Big Band Hydrangeas. Now, anytime you see Let's Dance in the name of a hydrangea from Proven Winners, it means it's part of their reblooming series of hydrangeas. This one happens to be a macrophylla type, which means it blooms on old wood. Well, what Proven Winners has done is they have created reblooming traits in it. And look, Christopher, you can see all the buds for next year. We have had differing amounts of success with different types of macrophylla hydrangeas. We've had the most success with Let's Dance Skyview. Gorgeous. We're trying out all the other Let's Dances, and this is the only one we don't have in the ground yet, right?
I'm excited about this one. It's a smaller stature, like 2.5 by 2.5 feet, but it still has big flowers, i.e. big band.
Yes, I feel like I have to explain why it looks so ratty on top. It's because it came to us in a box, and to fit it in the box, they had to chop it across the top. So that's just like a little pruning damage from shipping. But we have 3 of those to replace the Veronica. Now, we also have
Back in Black Sedum.
Back in Black Sedum, which I don't think we have any of in the garden, right?
No, this is another one that's kind of on the taller side. And I think it's going to be really nice to add this dark texture by these Powerball hydrangeas.
Yes, this is replacing this lobelia, which is an annual for us. So really, they're just going to bing, bing, bing right in those spots to replace that. And I think that texture and color contrast is going to be beautiful. And then look at it next to the Deroiter.
Oh, that's really good next to that little spruce baby.
Yeah, and this is going to stay very tiny for very long, but we already have plans to shift roses and things to make sure that it has enough space. And one more thing, which I'm really excited about. You might remember on our shopping trip to Fadigan's, we couldn't resist this little guy. This is a Burke's Variegated Red Pine. Did I say that in the right order?
It's a Burke's Red Variegated Pine.
Is that what I said?
It was very close.
I said those words, maybe not in the same order. So this, what I'm thinking, Christopher, is going to get as big as our Vanderwolf pine, right?
Yes, it gets at least that big.
So there's no room for it back here.
And this was one of those things that we bought when we didn't know where to put it. And it's a huge thing, so we really had to put the thinking caps on.
But you might remember from our September tour video that we have an empty spot right here. And so we're adding this natural green wall between us and our neighbor just for privacy and, you know, visual interest. We're thinking that's going to go right there.
And I think it's actually going to be beautiful because Cedar Rapids is going to be just this big green, and that's going to have that nice kind of light variegation with different needles.
I think that's pretty. And then we have our Gin Fizz.
Soft serve.
Soft serve. It's like, I guess, every other one except the one that it actually is.
It's all right. He gets a lot closer these days.
At least I'm like in the same realm, right? So our first step today is going to be to cut back this Rose of Sharon so that it's more manageable to remove. And the good thing about Rose of Sharon is that it blooms on new wood. So when we dig it out and we give it to our friend, she's still going to get all this new growth and flowers next year. So,
And honestly, it might end up being a nicer shape once it's cut back.
yeah. All right, let's glove up, get some pruners, and see how we're doing.
Eric, how far down do you think we should go? Should I go all the way here?
I think so.
I mean, it's got to be done. Ooh,
Here, I can help with my free hand.
there you go.
These branches, actually, yeah, that's pretty tall.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to need to put this in the cart at all.
Yeah, maybe we'll just throw them on the ground. What's going to be nice about this is it's going to open up the view to the Pondless Waterfall for the next few years at least, right?
You know, it's also potentially going to be more sun on the elevated beds. You know, honestly, it's not going to be terribly difficult to cut back. Some of them are just kind of flying in your face, so it's a little hard to get the...
I'm interested
Elaborate.
in seeing how big the root ball is, because from what I understand, Roses of Sharon's have a tap root.
Yeah, this could be a little dicey once we try to dig.
I mean,
So-
yeah, we're going to try and save it and try and get as much of that taproot as we can. I mean, it's planted in 2022. So what's that? This is its third season, but it has gotten so big.
I think it was a 3 or 5 gallon.
Oh, it was that big?
Yeah, it was pretty big because I think it was about 5 feet tall when we planted it.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Well, we'll find out. All I know is it blooms too late in the season for us to be in this pivotal spot. And the shape is fine, I guess, but it's also very sloppy. It's a messy shrub that drops a lot on the ground, and it's not the right spot for it. I think there's definitely a better way, a better application for this type of plant. Like Stacy has it as a privacy hedge between her and her neighbor. So it
That
doesn't
would
matter
be
how wide and thick they get.
right. It would be a perfect option there. You know, it's funny. The base of this is absolutely the size it's supposed to be.
2 to 3 feet wide.
Right. It's just that it's kind of flopping. Otherwise, it would be the right size.
I mean, it's definitely in full sun. Do you think it gets too much water and makes it flop because it's put on so much new growth?
I actually think it's the wind.
You think the winds?
So our west wind comes through and it's so heavy all the time. I think it's just kind of flying about, not knowing what to do with itself.
Like all these monarch butterflies flying around us today.
Right?
In front of it too, I think that's the other thing that bothered me is this Illuminati mock orange.
Yep.
Has a similar structure. And that was an oversight when planting these two next to each other, was having 2 columnar structures right next to each other. And I'd rather keep the Illuminati mock orange.
Agreed. I agree totally.
Wow, look at that. It's hard, you know, it's tough to make a choice like this because there are moments where it is so gorgeous and you're like, yes, that is perfect, I love it. But then there's other moments where you're like, oh, I like it being this open.
This is, you know, it's going to be weird. Run up on the terrace quick.
I know, we're gonna be able to see. The Japanese Snowbell grows very slowly. Oh, I like it from over here.
Pretend that I'm, you know, a big Styrax right here. I think
Yeah.
this is going to be a much better option.
I agree. Beautiful.
Would you like the root slayer or the
Yes.
regular?
The root slayer back here. I'm probably in the way of the camera, but only for a few moments. Drip irrigation?
Doesn't matter, cut it. This is part of the area that I'll be reworking.
Oh, I don't know.
This is gonna be a doozy.
This is gonna be way harder. Okay. Just had to get a little brave about it. That's like just solid earth. Make sure that's not there. Okay. Nope. Come on, Root Slayer.
Do some slaying.
Not slaying anything. Oh, there we go.
Got through something?
Yep. Oh, this is wild, Christopher. Okay. Switch. This is going to be a very large hole for a very tiny tree. Very careful of my weird little collector hydrangea there.
I'm trying to be careful of my Sherwood compact Mughal pine. Oh, I'm sawing something.
We are firm believers that if you don't like it, take it out. But be prepared that it could be hard.
All right, we're making some good headway.
We switch sides.
I need you to do this right here and step on that. Don't move the shovel. You'll feel it. Once that's gone, that whole side is free.
Oh, that could be drip.
No, it won't be drip.
Ah, there we go.
I did not have good leverage there.
What do you think?
We are really close now. Okay, hurdles.
Ready?
We're ready.
Oh, holy moly, macaroni. Did it.
You know, this is a really nice specimen.
Yeah. Very nice.
And that is
It'll
a
be
very,
nicer in someone else's garden.
yes, it's a very nice hole in the ground.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
A much less arduous chore. I'm gonna pull these Veronica up. They were on drip. They're more rooted than I thought they were gonna be. That's embarrassing.
You tried.
This particular variety just said, you know what, I'm not a fan of these guys.
Because they didn't like this spot, and that's okay. I wonder what it was, because it's full sun.
They get more than enough water because they had some overspray as well as drip irrigation.
They're clearly growing fresh from the base right now, but this whole entire space,
Should be a huge mass.
yeah. But just didn't perform well. There's just some type of purple Veronica. I can never remember the name of it. But the Let's Dance Big Band will hopefully, one, make it through the winter. So we're being a little bit tricky with, not tricky, we're not like being practically perfect in every way when we're planting this big leaf hydrangea here, because we should be planting it here in the spring to give it the entire season to get more established, because it is borderline hardy for us. But we have it.
It's going in.
It's going in. One more thing to pull. Oh, I see chipmunk holes. They're like, we've had this onslaught of chipmunks this fall. What do you guys do for chipmunks?
My gosh, the chipmunks, they're everywhere. They make little holes. They run around. Thankfully, they haven't done mega damage to anything yet.
Oh, this doesn't need a shovel?
No, you can pull that right up. Look at
That's
that.
funny. So this was Blue Eye?
This was Blue Pearl, which is the improved blue with eye.
Oh, okay. And then it did pretty well for most of the season, but I would say by early August it was fully tuckered out, right?
Definitely. There's 4 new colors coming. There's this blue with eye, a regular blue, a pink, and a lilac. The pink and the lilac, they did not make it even into the midsummer.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your pruners out of your pocket. Just because I wanna do a little prune here on this flavor I paired so we can really see. I'm being a little willy-nilly about it, guys.
Oh my gosh, at this time of the year, you can chop roses however you want.
Exactly.
There we go. Now we can actually see it.
Maybe a little more.
That was a good one.
Ta-da!
This should be a pretty easy planting because that's not a big pot.
Yeah, this is gonna be super, super simple. So this, I'm not even worried about how big it gets. I hope it gets enormous. It's fun, it's colorful. It's all the things you could possibly want in an evergreen. I do want to take the stake off of it though, because
That's a good
may I
idea.
borrow your pruners? Oh, I didn't give them back to you. That's my fault. Oh wait, I found the stake. So I want to take the stake off because the stake they have on this evergreen is only for shipping purposes, to keep it upright in transport. Easy schmeezy. Now this bed we had gotten ready for this maybe what, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's going to be very native soil very shortly.
You're gonna see this front lot, the front part of our property is pure sand.
That is just damp sand underneath all of the grass.
Now this bed doesn't have drip irrigation. I don't know if it will need drip irrigation because it does get lawn sprinkler.
Rock. Decoration.
Decorative rock. When planting an evergreen, we like to err on the high side because they don't like to be wet.
Beautiful roots.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that the flare of this evergreen is well above ground level. Looks like it might even be a little grafted. I don't know if that would be the case.
Yeah, it's got a weird knobbly thing there at the base, but maybe that's just some branching.
What do we think of that position?
Okay, let's do the backup test. Oh yeah, that looks great.
Is it straight up and down?
It's straight up and down.
We're not adding any fertilizer or anything to the hole because we don't want to stimulate it heading into the fall. Fall is not the best time for planting evergreens, but we couldn't pass up on this deal, and we're just gonna keep it well watered. So you want to make sure that the evergreen is super well watered heading into the winter, but not soaking wet, because you don't want it to go into the winter wet, but you don't want it to go into the winter dry, otherwise it'll get desiccated.
So what he means is if it doesn't rain, we're going to come out here and give it a little drink of water until the ground freezes. And then once the ground is frozen, we'll leave it alone until it wakes up in spring.
Yeah, the snow should take care of it, but we want to water it well heading into the winter. I will push the compost mulch back over. How's that look?
That looks great.
Obviously, as the tree gets bigger, we'll expand the bed around it. Next year, we can fill in any empty space with annuals or whatever that we want to fill it in with.
We could actually put some of those beautiful grasses right here in a little trio.
Yeah, the October skies we could do. We could
So
do
pretty.
purple fountain grass.
Love that too. It's probably the one spot on our property where we can't quite reach one of the hose links now. So it's for the best to just use the watering can for now. All right, so I'm not gonna do anything special for the sedum either because, oh, it's so nice out of the sun. He's sitting on the ground too, everybody.
No, I'm not. I shrunk.
You shrunk, yes. Because, you know, it's sedum. Sedum doesn't need that much from us at all. Let's see how big it is.
I think that's part of the reason sedum struggles for us is it likes it dry. What is that?
Is that a Powerball root?
I think it's a limelight root.
This is a limelight root from the original hedge.
I
Wow.
bet.
Because it has growth on it.
Wow. Okay. That's funny.
Gora doesn't taste good.
Really? It's so pretty though.
I
Very
really like
pretty.
these. I think they're pretty.
They really are.
And when we water them in, we can clean off that rock.
Now we knew that the plant we were pulling out was going to be much larger than the plant that we're putting in. So in anticipation of a giant hole being in the place of where we only need a smaller hole, we got some extra Coast of Maine Penobscot blend planting mix to fill in that hole.
It's really good stuff. It's got some mycorrhizae in it, which of course will help with root development over the winter, and compost and oyster shells and all the kinds of good stuff that are going to help this tree live its absolute best life.
Now, what do we think about leaving the stake on the Styrax?
Well, I think we should unstake it and then put the stake on looser.
I like that plan.
You know, just so that there's a little bit of elasticity to it so it gets stronger, but we also don't know how strong the stem really is.
True. They do tie it to this for shipping purposes. This also came to us in a box. So there's a couple different schools of thought on staking trees. Some people really love to stake a tree. They think it helps them grow straight and tall and strong. Some people really don't like staking trees because they think that it makes the trunk weak and restricts growth. Some people like to stake just at the bottom to leave the tree free-flowing at the top. Now this is a very young Styrax. Styrax are very slow growing.
I think we're restaking it. Once it's in the ground, I think we should stake it loosely.
So part of what's going to make it stronger, though, is having an ability to blow a little bit in the breeze. But I agree. I think at least until next spring, like maybe leave the stake in over winter, because we don't want snow to gather on this.
Snap it right off.
Right? Okay, let me get in here, mix some of that Penobscot in with the native soil, and then you can hand me this tree. I'm just going to grab my healing pad.
I'm impressed with us. We got that root ball out pretty easily.
Pretty easily.
I mean, we've had other things more difficult than that.
That's true.
I also just need you to make sure you see where the other side of that black drip is that got cut.
Oh, geez. Okay, hang on. I found it.
Oh, good. So you found both pieces of that black drip, which will be great because that's what I'm going to be teeing into when I create my new sophisticated grid.
Good. Okay. Might I have the Swan Song, please? Is this the right angle?
That is actually going to be the perfect angle.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig about 3 or 4 inches down, plant this, and then fill up the rest with more Penobscot and stuff.
Oh, good idea.
Because this is going to settle.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
One of the bonuses of using these Coast of Maine planting soils and even the annual mix soil is they look just like the compost that we have spread for mulch. So it automatically tidies up the area when we're planting. Here is the stake. Would you like me to get you farm yarn?
Yes.
So we're gonna tie it to the stake with farm yarn, which is this really fun product we came across. Very nice people. They sent us 2 other colors, and I find that we're using the brown the most. I don't know if we can see that in the sun. It's just the same color as a trunk. It's kind of a nice stretchy product, and it's perfect for what we're gonna do.
If I do this, is that pretty straight up and down?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. So here's what I like to do when it comes to tying in trees. I like to choose a stretchy, breathable fabric, like farm yarn. And then, maybe I'll pick 3 points. I'm going to tie this to here, right?
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a gentle loop and cross. So we're not tying it like stiff and hard to the spike. We're giving it wiggle room so it can still like jive with the wind, you know what I mean?
And grow.
And grow. Then really I just need to do one up here, I think.
Yeah, that'll be beautiful.
So I'll tie it around and create like a soft little base. And then loop around loosely and back. So there's room for it to wiggle in the wind to help build strength, but it's not going to be so loose that it
Goes flying.
flops about. Do you think that's enough? I think just 2 is good.
I really do.
Does it look straight up and down?
It looks straighter than when it got here, which is funny. It's already got such a nice little branching habit too. It's going to be so fun to watch this grow. Lastly, we're going to get the big bands in the ground. Same plan, not really doing any amendments or anything. I'm just going to do a wiggle, very specific wiggle, so that these do not end up anywhere that they don't belong. Right, Eric?
That soil does look bone dry though. That drip wasn't enough, I guess.
No, that was definitely not enough. But that's all right. We're learning. Ooh, roots.
Wow. It's gonna be a happy guy.
They're
Now,
not.
hydrangeas normally have very superficial surface roots, so
I'm just giving this a squeeze. I don't want to like rip it up too much.
it's gonna be so happy.
Is that going to be the right height, Eric?
Yes. Really pack that soil in down around those compacted roots.
I'm going to do about 3/4 of it with this soil. Oh, root flare. My goodness. I'm that large. And then I'll top dress with some of the other compost that we purchased. Okay.
Wow, you can see all those buds for next year on there already.
We're going to be covering this hydrangea. That's for sure. And then this was the other spot right here.
I think so. Three different types of hydrangeas all next to each other. Who are we?
I know.
Wow.
All this texture.
Hydrangea hideaway for sure. Oh, I think this brings us up to 212.
212.
Yes.
And
So
then
after you do the drip, I would do that compost.
Yep. This is called Quaddy Blend. It's just like all the best good stuff that comes from the coast of Maine. Mixed together. Now I'm gonna do a little drip.
It's you added quite a bit. I think this space really needed it actually.
He's just down here pinning all of this drip. There's a whole network down there that I just installed. Nothing too fancy. There's 2 lines that go between these hydrangeas of the same stuff I've been using. It's the brown drip that has 1/2 inch or 1/2 gallon emitters every 12 inches. It gives a nice kind of broadcast coverage. There's a spot right there with a T. So this area now has much more coverage of water than it did. And I think the plants, not just the new ones, but the existing plants are gonna be very happy. What do you think?
I think they're going to be very, very happy. And all that's left to do is put a little compost down to cover this exposed drip up front. And then I think we're good to go.
Yeah, we'll take a look at what we've planted. I think we got in just under the wire with these plantings as the sun's going down. But this Burke's Red Variegated pine, so beautiful up here, I think is going to be a great bright spot, especially as it mirrors the texture of the Vanderwolf pine. So come on back around the bend here.
For the reveal, I love this reveal as we pass this. Ta-da!
I already love the weight and the texture and the color that the back and black sedum are bringing to this spot next year, especially when it blooms. This is going to be really awesome. Over here, what a breath of fresh air. The Let's Dance Big Band and the Swan Song Styrax. So good. I love the weight this is going to bring. You just have to imagine it taller.
A little bigger, a little fuller.
I actually think this combination's really nice because we've got the weeper and we've got the upright, and then we've got the contorted, different color leaves and texture. So this is a really good spot.
I think so too. Let's see it from over here.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna lounge here on the bench.
Yes, which I just cleaned off because it was covered in rows of Sharon petal carcasses. But yeah, look at that. Pretty. Well, the only thing left to do is water everything in very thoroughly. So even though it's on drip, we really want to give it a good soak and get those root balls settled in, especially heading into fall.
So if you'd like to see some more of our garden, check out this video on the screen right here, our most recent September tour.
Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.